So, welcome to all the BSc third year students, semester 6th. So, the title of the paper is Genetics and Biotechnology. Yesterday we have discussed regarding the syllabus of this paper, which are the chapters, that is chapters of genetics and chapters of biotechnology. And for each chapters, what are the aspects that have been mentioned for your syllabus. Regarding all these aspects, we have discussed very briefly, and the chapter number 1, which is mentioned for your syllabus in genetics, that is Mendel's laws. Mendel's laws. So before going to be yesterday we have discussed before going to be the different laws which was given by Mendel's. You have to be discussed a brief historical accounts regarding the life history of Gregor John Mendel, where he was born, where he was taken his education, qualification education, where he was studied, where he was performed his experimental work. So all these things you have to be you have to be go through to the textbooks in which the details they have been given. And yesterday we also discussed which are the seven pair of contrasting characters he was taken under consideration to prove the inheritance of characters from one generation to other generation. As we know, he was performed his experimental work on pea plants. In pea plants, he was taken under consideration of 7 pair of contrasting characters, that is tall, dwarf, white, pink, so flower color, height of the plant, flower color, sheet shape, that is round, wrinkle, then shield color, that is yellow, green, that is pea plants here, Pisum sativum pea plants, in which he was taken under consideration of 7 pair of contrasting characters, that is dominant and recessive. Which is the dominant character and which is the recessive one? For example, tall is a dominant character, dwarf is a recessive character, then white is a recessive character, pink is a dominant character. Then again, round shield shape is a dominant character and wrinkle shield shape is a recessive characters. So likewise, he was taken under consideration as 7 pair of contrasting characters. With the help of these 7 pair of contrasting characters, after performing experimental work on pea plants, he came to conclusion that there are certain traits, there are certain traits or characters are controlled by factors. Later on, that factors has been considered as a gene, and these genes transfer from one generation to other generations. How these factors transfers from one generation to other generations has been proved experimentally by Gregor John Mendel, and he came to conclusion 3 important laws to prove the inheritance of characters. That is, first law is law of dominance. First one is law of dominance. First one is law of dominance. Law of dominance. Second one is law of segregation. Law of segregation or separation. Third law is law of independent assortments. Law of independent assortments. So these are the 3 laws postulated by Gregor John Mendel to prove the inheritance of character from one generation to other generation. For these two laws, law of dominance and law of segregation, he was taken under consideration of monohybrid cross. With the help of monohybrid cross, he proves a law of dominance and law of segregation, and to prove the law of independent assortments, he was taken under consideration of two pair of contrasting characters at a time. So, with the help of dihybrid cross, he was proved the law of independent assortments. As we know, when he was published his research work, at that time nobody was taken under consideration of Mendel's work. But later on, as a post-Mendelian discovery, the scientists have came to conclusion that how it is important to explain the inheritance of characters or hereditary characters. So that is known as post-Mendelian discovery. Post-Mendelian discovery. So anyway, so in your syllabus, just you have to be, first of all, you have to be given detail. You have to be study the historical accounts regarding the Gregor John Mendel and what are the 7 pair of contrasting characters, then what are the genes, what are the alleles, what are the dominant characters, what are the recessive characters, homozygous, what is done by homozygous, what is done by heterozygous. So these are the terminologies you have to be studied very perfectly. Then only it is possible to understand the law of dominance, law of segregation, and law of independent assortments. Law of independent assortments. So these 3 laws, with the help of P plants, it was explained how these characters will be transferred from one generation to other generation. So first of all, you have to study the law of dominance. First one is law of dominance. Law of dominance. As we know, to prove the law of dominance, the Gregor John Mendel taken under consideration of monohybrid cross, that is by taking under consideration of single pair of contrasting characters, that is with the help of, in P plants, he was taken under consideration as a single pair of contrasting characteristics, or to prove the law of dominance, he was taken under consideration of a monohybrid cross, means tall and dwarf. With the help of, this is the one contrasting character and this is the another contrasting characters, tall and dwarf. This is a monohybrid. Why it is called as monohybrid cross? Because by taking under consideration of single pair of contrasting characters, that is for this genotype, capital T, for darkness, small t. Here, tall is a dominant character, dwarf is a recessive character. During gametogenesis, gametes, capital T and small t. While cross, for example, you have to consider this is the male plant and this is the female plants. So, in F1 generation, capital T, small t. Capital T for dominant characters, small t for recessive characters. So the genotype of F1 generation is capital T, small t. So in F1 generation or first filial generation, Gregor John Mendel observed that all the plants were tall. Here you have to remember that one plant which is having the tall in their height, another one is, for example, this is the tall male plant and this is the dwarf male plant. While crossing, while crossing in the next generation, whatever the plant, after sowing the seeds of these plants, in F1 generation, first filial generation, he was observed that instead of getting tall and dwarf plant, all the plants were tall with respect to height. So suppose this is the assumption that the genotype of all these plants is capital T small t. Capital T and small t. So this condition is known as heterozygous condition. Homozygous tall, and this is the homozygous tall. Means why it is known as homozygous? So the genome of these plants is having capital T, and the genome of these dwarf plants is having small t. So therefore it is a homozygous one. So in all F1 plants, in one first filial generation, the genotype is having capital T small t, means it is a heterozygous condition. So these F1 plants under self-pollination, that is capital T small t, then capital T small t. Suppose this is the male plant and this is the female plant. So the gametes of these plants, capital T and small t. Here also capital T and small t. Means whatever the gametes produced by this male plant, suppose here this is the male plant and this is the female plant. It produces two types of gametes. It also produces two types of gametes. While crossing in F1 generation, will be observed 3 tall plants and 1 dwarf one, means 3:1. So here, with the help of this, we can explain whatever the plants which are observed in F1 generation, they are all tall. Therefore, for this experimental work, he was named as a law of dominance. Law of dominance means if the dominant gene is present for tallness, then there is no expression of dwarfness. It's suppressed. So during gametogenesis, again these two genes are separated during gametes formation, and so while crossing these plants again in F1 generation, so will be observed 3:1 ratio, means 3 tall and 1 dwarf. Means here what the gene which is responsible for darkness, which is present along with in F1 generation, get separated or segregated during during the process of gamete formation. And therefore, in F2 generation, it is, and the genotypic ratio is phenotypic ratio is 3:1. So with the help of this, we can explain the law of segregation. Segregation means separation. So again, to prove the law of segregation, you have to be cross the F1 hybrid. You have to be cross the F1 hybrids. So before crossing, there will be a formation of gametes. Then these gametes produce seeds, and after showing these seeds in F2 generation, whatever the phenotypic ratio is obtained, that is 3:1. In 3:1, one is, out of these 3 tall plants, one is homozygous tall, 2 are heterozygous tall, and remaining one is homozygous dwarf. So the genotypic ratio of here, the genotypic ratio is monohybrid cross is 1:2:1, and phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross is 3:1. So with this we can be explained with the help of monohybrid cross. You can explain the law of dominance and law of segregation. So how this law of segregation is proven by Gregor John Mendel. We can see in tomorrow, and after that we are going to discuss regarding the law of independent assortments, and the law of independent assortments were explained with the help of David Cross by Gregor John Mendel. In the law of independent assortments, he was taken under consideration of two contrasting characters at a time, that is round yellow and wrinkled green. Round seed shape is dominant over wrinkle and yellow coloration is dominant over green. This is how these independently assorted as segregated, means round characters may go along with green, and so that yellow may go along with wrinkle, then wrinkle may go along with yellow, and green may go along with round shield shape. So therefore, the dividend ratio of law of independent assortments is always 9:3:3:1. So how it is comes and how they are independently assorted, these characters. So for this, he was given the third law, that is named as law of independent assortments. So tomorrow we are going to discuss regarding the again, that is a third law, that is law of segregation and the law of independent assortments. So with this, today we are going to stop here only, and after that, what is test cross, what is back cross. So you have to be discuss what is test cross and what is back cross. And after that, one more thing they have been mentioned in your syllabus here is incomplete dominance and codominance. What is meant by incomplete dominance? What is meant by codominance? इनकम्प्लीट डॉमिनन्स कशाला म्हणायचं आणि कोडॉमिनन्स कशाला म्हणायचं, ह्या संदर्भामध्ये विथ द हेल्प ऑफ एक्झाम्पल दे हॅव बीन एक्सप्लेन. सो यू हॅव टू गो थ्रू टू द ऑल these two things also, that is incomplete dominance and codominance. Okay, thank you.